general manager, even if you're joking, because I don't general manager. I have um, bad connection and relationship with them.
Yes, actually, I in this time about 4 years with Alma, we don't facing this issue about the 2 months, October and
Mhm.
September, and
Okay.
this continuously in the November.
Hmm. Okay.
Before that, when any changing in the situation for the exchange rate or the market or the inflation in Dubai, we didn't face like this issue because التواصل
Why do you think, Matham? This is something that I'm very curious to ask you about. Why do you think this case has happened? What is the main reason that led this case to be this way? Is it the economic situation in Iraq, or is it the status of the management, or lack of effective uh, management to the policy, or what is it? I need to get an idea about what's going on.
Uh, actually, number one, التواصل, because another distributor
Mm.
for Nestle and the product it's international, and we called standard in the market, not not allowed to two distributor. When we distribute distribution from Almaha, not facing any issue like this like
This
this
case.
period, because
Okay.
two distributor two distributors competition, and maybe sell about lower price, and stagnation تذبذب تذكر
Okay.
stagnation قلناها
Fluctuate.
أو
So
ركود.
so
لا no. Yes,
stagnate or fluctuate.
yes, and the customers very angry
Mm.
because
Get
the
angry. They
changing the
get angry.
price.
So
Get
customers get
angry because
angry. Mhm.
yes, because they're changing the prices.
And for this kind of case, what is the policy that you have in there for this kind of scenario? What do you normally do in this case?
Actually, my management get me the support, but
Huh.
support to yes, to spend about the customers when they purchase from
Purchase.
us. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and I make the targets for the top customers.
Mm-hmm.
When he achieved the
Nathan,
target,
it's I I think um I think part of our policy is to say that um we um
yes,
we need to understand that it's not customer, because the way you say it to me sounds like cost
customers,
and
yes,
and
customers,
customers. So the idea is to say it a bit
yes,
differently, so that it
yes.
seems like customers, not customers. Okay, perfect. And what do you do after that?
Till now, we don't have any solution
Mm,
about because we don't have a decision about this situation.
mm,
The decision about Nestle, but
mhm.
the management tell me don't leave any customers and put them any support to continues dealing with us.
Okay, so you're trying to attract more customers here by bringing more
Yes,
care. What kind of care do you bring to the customers, if I may ask?
uh, yes. Before this situation, some customers
Mm-hmm,
don't take them because not all the customers it's good, they
mm-hmm.
good, and some customers don't pay or don't they don't attitude to deal with us. But now I contact with all the customers, and tell him I should maybe I should uh, trying to deal with them, and
Mm-hmm.
trying to return to deal with the
With who?
yes
You trying to go deal back with who?
with them.
Okay. Now,
Yes,
let's stop talking here about your business because we need to give a little bit of care to our lesson. Our lesson of tonight is going to be built solely يعني فرديا. It's going to be built solely. Let me just add this word here. The word is um, solely.
sorry.
Okay. On what we discussed in our last meeting. What we discussed in our last meeting was very simple. We talked about your travel, and since we chose three topics, we had we had very beautiful conversation together. And in this
Yes,
beautiful conversation, we chose to start by talking about your adventure as a traveler and as a businessman. Now, what I'm intending to do tonight is review quickly some of the vocabulary that we have discussed before. So last week, in our last meeting, what we did, we simply we simply um, discussed a few of the vocabulary that we had from our previous meetings. I want to go back
yes,
and check these vocabulary, and then we build on that in our meeting
contagious.
of tonight.
Yes,
And in our meeting of tonight, what we're going to discuss is culture. But before we discuss culture, أريد أتأكد أنت عندك فكرة عن المفردات اللي أخذناها بالدرس السابق. The
yes,
first word is contagious. Contagious.
contagious. Yes, معدي.
Contagious. Mhm. And then we talked
Yes,
about symptoms.
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 Yes, yes, symptoms. Committed
Uh-huh.
and
In danger.
yes,
And danger
in
was
danger.
written incorrectly.
يعرض
Yeah. And
yes
danger,
يعرض الخطر.
it was,
Yes,
yes.
word me, word
Churches.
chant.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, upset, anger, sorry to bother, or annoy
Mm-hmm.
and snore when I snore in the in the flight.
Yeah, that's true.
uh,
What
yes,
happens when you snore in the
sneeze.
flight? Mm-hmm.
Yes, I snored yesterday.
Okay. Well, usually people who get tired
Sneeze.
from work, they tend to snore more, or they have sinuses, or some kind of breathing problems here. Now, we also talked about your preference of seats when it comes
Yes,
to the preference of seats that you had in the flight, and we also talked about the anger. We talked about anger. Anger.
yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. I read.
Yes, please.
Yes, worried me
Hmm.
and churches. Yes, and
Churches.
churches. Yes, cable car or worsened
Hmm.
exchange rules, تبادل
Hmm.
الأدوار, and we talked about annoy or many meaning for anger, upset, anger, bother, anger leader chart.
Okay.
Uh, yes, and about snored, and I read that, and sneeze,
Hmm.
قاص أو يعطس,
Hmm.
and in addition, you send me the game in up Leos.
Okay. Hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Let's just stop here.
Okay.
Let's just stop here because this is
Yes.
something that's quite interesting. Now, what is one thing you remember from our last meeting? Quickly, is there one
Snooze.
thing in particular? Snore.
Snore. Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Now, I'm very happy that you have learned this word and you started using it in your daily practice. It's very important, actually, and I totally recommend that you keep learning this list of vocabulary. But just remember something, Maitham. Learning vocabulary does not stop at certain age level. So, if you're learning vocabulary
Mhm.
learning vocabulary doesn't have an age limit, so you can learn now. You can learn in your 50s, in your 60s, in your 70s. Joe Biden is 77 right now, and he is the president of the United States. He is just became the president of the United States. So
Yes.
that's quite important to understand that the point where people in Iraq start thinking of death is the point of people in USA start thinking of becoming president.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is something that you should bear in mind. Now let's talk about culture, Maitham. I love when you talk about culture. I really love to listen to you talking about cultures. Like, what kind of cultures do you like? What kind of cultures do you not like? What is the definition, تعريف culture, to you? Um, what culture has the most important influence in your life in general. أنا ما أتحدث لك كمختص بالثقافة culture. أريد تتحدث لي عن مفهوم الثقافة بصورة عامة، يعني الحضارات الثقافات اللي شفتها بالسفر مالتك، شنو الزين شنو المو زين، شنو انطباعك عن الثقافات بالدول الأخرى. إلك 5 دقائق، أتمنى ما تتوقف ولا لحظة. هذا
Okay.
التدريب هذه يسمونه speaking marathon، اللي هو انه تتحدث حتى تعود دماغك على المطاولة بالكلام، لازم يصير عندك مطاولة.
Okay. Yes. Actually, I'm when I traveled for the any country, I I see the priority respect
Mhm.
and the process for all the people because uh, because we don't have this progress or this respect for our country, you know, because the flow down in the 2003, and we don't have the governors in our country. The priority, the respect, and the process. All the governors should be the respect the people and save all the people. This is, I think, this is a priority because we don't have this this case.
Mhm.
After that, I saw all the people improved and
Mhm.
all improved our her self and making to develop them and working quickly. I think sometimes I'm called our people the lazy people.
Mhm.
I don't see the people when the working by the sorry for this word غيرة، احنا نسميها الغيرة.
Jealousy. You mean
jealousy.
الغيرة
Yes.
يعني إنه أها.
الغيرة بالعمل، يعني ما أقصدها الغيرة كطبع.
أوكي، أوكي،
آه،
أوكي. مو
يس.
إحنا شوف إحنا
احنا
نلوم
الغيرة
إحنا
نتميز بيها.
إحنا نلوم الأجانب إنه يقول له أنت عندك هاي الكلمة بيها 15 معنى. إحنا النصي
يس.
يتحدث عن يعني هذا مثلًا عنده غيرة على وطنه، تختلف هذا عنده غيرة على على صديقه.
صح.
الغيرة هي نفس الكلمة بس الدلالة مالتها تختلف.
عدة
بالإنجليزي نفس
معاني.
الحالة.
صح.
Yes.
مهم. يعني احنا اليوم الشعب العراقي مثلا يتميز بالغيرة، بس انا اليوم بصراحة اشوف انه يعني بالعمل هي كانما جايبيهم سخرة، يعني ما عندهم هذا الحرص
اهم.
اللي اسميها، خلينا نقول مو الغيرة وانما الحرص، لان على
اهم.
قولتك تنفهم بغير معنى. Yes.
Well,
Honestly.
probably this is
Yes.
Maitham, this is something that people need to understand quite well, that this is the result of our education. Um, when you travel abroad, you learn from people that you should not throw bottles in the streets. You should not throw trash in the wrong place. You have to put trash where it belongs. In Iraq,
Yes.
people don't care. And that's just because of their education system. It's all about education. It's all about culture. So when people trash in
Yes.
streets, people don't care. So when people go to work abroad, they understand that learning and mastering their job is going to be the key to their success. Um, and
That's true. Yes.
when they learn that, they become very professional in their work. But in Iraq, people don't care. They just work uh, to get money, but they don't work
Yes.
because they love their work.
Without developing or
Uh-uh.
without to see in the future. I think that I'm very beautiful when I saw in the Dubai
Mm-hmm.
about 8 a.m., 8 morning, all of the people running by speed to metro management and another country, Philippines and
Mm-hmm.
India's, all of them running quickly to the reach to the company. Honestly, it's lovely
Beautiful feeling.
showing.
It's
Yes,
uh it's it's beautiful feeling, but don't forget, Mr. Matham, that when you work in the United States, you are under the control of your manager, and your manager does not choose you because you're lazy. They choose you because you're very professional in what you do.
yes,
So
but
the
I see. Yes, sorry. Yes,
oh yeah, go ahead.
no, no. I hear you.
Okay, so the idea is that you need to be careful about the choices that you make at work, about the way of communicating, about the way of making nice impression, having nice impression at your manager. These are some of the necessities of being successful at work and climbing the work and profession ladder. Now, let me come back to your comment. You wanted to say a specific thing about that part. Why do you think people abroad love their work, but they don't love their work here? What's the difference out there?
Yes, the difference in Iraq, I think all the peoples they don't improve ourselves or not see to the futures or to develop them because and in another case when the opened the any company
Mm-hmm.
he received they received management from foreign country, not in the local Lebanese or Syrians or another country, because till now we lose the I think we lose the develop mentality. I think we don't have some issues for the mindset or mentality to improve.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry for for
It's
my
uh, it's.
my words. Yes.
I love your words, and Matham, I've been always telling you that the idea is not about the word. The idea is about the meaning behind the words. Just like
Yes.
when we say
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
not about Mr. Matham, listen to me. Uh, in photography, they say it's not about the camera, it's about the person who is behind the camera.
Yes.
So it's not about the words that you choose, it's about the meaning behind this list of words that you choose. So no matter
Mm,
how simple your language is, it doesn't mean that your language is weak. Simplicity is very professional level of language. You cannot be simple unless you go through so many difficulties in your life. And the simplest thing here is the sayings in English. Uh, um, we have so many sayings in English. For example, a bad worker always blames his tools. عندنا بالعراقي
Yes.
ما يعرف يرقص دائما يقول القاع عوجة.
القاع عوجة. صح.
أي عندك في الإنجليزي دائما we always say a bad worker or a bad workman always blames his tools. هذا مثل باللغة الإنجليزية. طبعا هي جملة بسيطة
Yes.
بس المعنى اللي بيها كلش عميق.
معنى كبير. Yes.
يعني مثلا you have one of the workers in your office and they say, well, I don't know how to do this. I think the whole situation is difficult, but you gotta say to him, a bad worker is always blaming his tools.
Yes. Yes, that's true. We don't have the mentality to developing and improvement. Sorry for this case to in the our people.
No worries.
Yes, I always we tried to teach our team and to
What do you teach?
coaching about to improve our team. I hate the I and I, but
that's
honestly,
let's just stop here.
yes.
Probably if you say this to an English speaker, they would not understand what you mean if you hate repeat saying I to some extent, but it depends. But the idea, there's this cultural difference between Arabic and English. When we talk about differences here, we talk about cultural differences. So sometimes we do not understand and get understood in English, not because we have difficulty with language. No, we have difficulty with understanding culture. That's why it is always important to understand that in order to learn language, you have to learn culture as well.
Yes. Honestly, when I talked with our team in the meeting or for the coaching time, I remember my experience or my practicing. Always I talking about the practice that I trying, not to talk about myself, but because the practicing that I facing. For example, when I starting to work in the first company in the Al for from first week, honestly, I hate this work because I driver and I seller and I accounting and I warehouse keeper, and when I reach all the customers to talk with him about the product and to show him the advantage for the product and to selling him. Very hungry because that, and from the first week I talk with myself, this work don't fit me, finish, I leave this work. But when I say all the team with me, honestly don't work good for the good work.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to improve myself, and maybe I quickly to become the supervisor. So I worked for this goals.
Okay, let's
The,
stop here. Let's
this
just stop.
yes,
Let's just stop here.
yes.
I want to move in the series of our conversation to discuss an important topic here that is relevant, and that is pronunciation. But before we do address pronunciation here, I need to ask you a question here. What are some things that define culture؟ شنو بعض الأشياء اللي تعرف الثقافة؟ For example, هل هي music, language, people's work, buildings, language? What are the things that define culture؟ يعني احنا نقول هاي ثقافة غربية، أو هذه ثقافة عربية، أو هذا ثقافة أفريقية. How? What are the items that define culture here?
Building for habits, and building this is, I think this is a priority to building the skills.
Hmm?
I when I
Okay.
talked for when I talked for example for me, I talk with my team to see this experience, and to motivation them.
Hmm? Motivate them.
Motivate, yes, to motivate them. The culture depend on, I think, building skills and to improving.
Hmm.
I don't
Okay.
this true or no?
Now, the next question is, before I move to pronunciation section, um,
Yes,
what do you think? What do you think is interesting about our culture in Iraq? أنا هسه أجنبي،
yes,
ويقول لي شنو المميز بالثقافة العراقية. So, what do you think is the most interesting part about our culture?
yes. I think in the our country, the culture relation, it's good relationship with us,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I don't see this case in another country. Relationship and communication for
Tell me
with
more.
the
Uh, I still have difficulty understanding that, but I want to learn more about it.
yes.
More
For
details. More
example,
details.
for example, the communication with the parents or friends. I think this case I don't see in this case in another country.
Mm.
The culture in Iraq about good relationship with the parents and friends. I
Mm-hmm.
think this case شلون نتميز بيها.
We get distinguished with
the,
it.
the, this can
Distinguished. It's distinguished, or it's distinctive. It is. It is distinctive.
mhm.
It is distinctive. Okay. Now, let me move here to my next important part of our meeting of tonight. And in our meeting of tonight, we will talk about what we call them prefixes. Okay. So prefixes
Okay.
أكو بعض الكلمات بدايتها IMP.
Yes, or
IMP. IMP. راح ناخذ لستة، بس اللستة راح شوية تكون صعوبتها تدريجية. متفقين؟
متفقين.
Okay. Now, let's start with the first list of words that we have here. ليش هذه اللستة أنا راح أركز عليها؟ ممكن ما إلها ارتباط بالموضوع اللي نتحدث عنه، بس هذه لها علاقة بتحسين اللفظ. إحنا باللغة العربية عندما نلفظ 3 مقاطع صوتية دفعة واحدة بدون صوت علة شوي يسبب لنا مشكلة. مثلا كلمة STR اللي هي مثلا strong. فدائما الأس نخففه حتى نطلع strong قوية. بس هذا ما يعني أنه إحنا ما راح نلفظها، لا بالعكس نلفظها ويكون اللفظ مالته سليم. فهذه الكلمات لاحظ اثناء الكونفرسيشن مالتنا، طبعا شيء كلش حلو انه انت عندك هاي الديمومه بالكلام، فقط بعض التحسينات اللي احنا نسميها تويكس. تتذكر هذه الكلمه؟
تويكس صح.
تويكس. هذه تويكس
اللي هي تلحيظات.
اي فهذه تويكس يعني ممكن نعالجها باثناء الديمومه مالت الكلام. فعندك مثلا هنا imply, impel, impede, impasse. شوفهم؟
شفتهم وسجلتهم.
تمام. اللي اريده انه احنا حنسوي practice here. ذولا لا تسجلهم، مو ضروريات.
اوكي.
I want you to pronounce them. هسه اريد تلفظهم. اسف بدي اخذ شويه ملاحظات فبدي اتاخر.
imply, impel, impede, impies.
Perfect. Now let's move to the next group here. Okay. Now, as I said, it's going to be a little bit difficult by the process. But what we need to do, احنا بس حتى تنطي عقلك اللاواعي بصورة غير طبيعية أو غير مباشرة، مو غير طبيعية، أنه هذه الكلمات ركز لي عليهم. المرة القادمة من ألفظهم لازم تقول مو improve. هسه أنت من تقول لي improve ده تفصل الكلمة. من خواص اللغة الإنجليزية هو الديمومة وليس التوقف إلا في بعض الأحيان. فعندك مثلا impact. Listen. Impact, import, impose, impair, impede, impart, improve, impure, impish, impala اللي هي السيارة إمبالا احنا نسميها. impute, impugn, impark, impale, impost. تشوف تلاحظ هذا الصوت؟ هذا لا هو ولا هو بي. هذا يسمونه تخليق صوتي. الهدف من عنده هو دمج هذه الصوتين من منطقة وسطية. ليش؟ لأنه الدماغ من الخواص اللي بيه أنه ما يقدر يرسل إيعاز صوتي. المخارج صوتية مختلفة، مثلا الحنجرة خلف يعني المنطقة الخلفية من الحنجرة والمنطقة الأمامية. مثلا صوت هب اللي هو H و P. فإحنا من نقول هب يجي الهواء من الحلق وبعدين وين يصعد للتي أو P. فهذه ياخذ فترة حتى يتخلق هذا الصوت. لكن إحنا من نتحدث عن سرعة كلام، هذا صوت داخل كلمة داخل جملة، وإحنا بحوار مباشر أو مؤتمر لازم أكون سريع. فإذا أقول improve راح شوية يكون هفوة عندي.
صح.
هسه I want you to repeat that. هسه أنا شرحت لك المغزى مالتها، هسه أريدك تعيد لي إياهم من كلمة impact وأنت نازل.
impact, import, impose, impire, impede, impart, improve, impure, impish, impala, impute, impugn, impale, impose.
Perfect. Well, that's beautiful. هسه عندنا مجموعة أخيرة قبل لا نختم. اللي اللي شوية راح يكون بها التحدي، بس هو الغرض من التدريب هو التحسين، وبالتالي يعني لا ضير.
Yes,
Are you
it's very nice.
ready? Are
Yes.
you ready?
Yes.
Okay. أوكي. بالمناسبة هذول الكلمات هو الغرض منهم هو التدريب الميكانيكي وليس الحفظ. عادةً
طبعًا أكيد.
باللغة آخر شيء يفكر به التدريسي أنه يحفّظ الطالب، لأن اللغة مو تحفيظ، تدريب على ممارسة ضمن المحيط والحاجة الاجتماعية. أنا يعني
اهم.
شنو أسوي الذاكرة هو مو مثلًا مخزن وأني أحتاجه بس أروح أفتح الخزانة وأطلع، لأ، هي عبارة عن أداة تستخدم يوميًا، تستخدمها حتى تغيّر شكلها حسب الظروف. أوكي؟
صح.
آآ اللغة همّاتين أكو فد مسألة الناس يعني تجهلها بهذا المجال. اللغة مثل أي أداة بالمطبخ. يعني أنت من تريد تشتري مثلًا علبة مال حلويات، وهاي العلبة مسدودة، و تدوّر بالمطبخ فما تلقي هاي اللي إحنا نسميها tin opener، اللي هو اللي تفتح العلبة، إيش راح تستخدم؟
فتحها قبل
إذا
هسه
ما
كهربائية
لقيتها.
صارت.
إذا ما لقيتها إيش راح تستخدم؟
راح تحول بطريقة يدوية سكين وتفتحها.
الطريقة اليدوية هي تختلف عن السكين، إذا ما لقيت سكين.
راح تضطر إنه تاخذ easy open، ما تشتري بعد إنه أي شيء إذا مو هو يفتح بمفتاح.
هذه الحالة اللي وصلتها إنه أنت راح تتوقف ما تتحدث بالإنجليزي، بس أنت عندك وسائل، عندك هاي الأدوات هي مثل المفردات، يعني إذا ما لقيت هاي المفردة
اهم.
راح أضطر وين أروح؟ على مفردة أخرى، لأن الهدف هو فتح
صح.
العلبة وتناول المنتج. يعني الهدف
صح.
هو إيصال المعنى للمتلقي، بس كل واحد إلى طريقته. ممكن إذا ما لقيت تروح على اليدوي اللي هو الbody اللي هو التعابير البشرية مالتك.
اهم.
إذا ما لقيتها راح ترجعها، وبالتالي راح يكون الشخص ما فاهم الفكرة. فاللغة مثل أي أداة بالمطبخ ممكن تستخدمها، وتستخدم أدوات أخرى لإيصال والوصول إلى نفس النتيجة. أنت راح تتناول المنتج، بس تتناوله، بس أنت ما فتحته الجهاز الرئيسي مالته، فتحته بأداة أخرى. فاللغة مثل الأداة، ماكو فد أداة ثابتة مع منتج ثابت. هذا المفهوم لازم الناس تعرف بيه، إنه اللغة هي مو إنه لأ هاي الكلمة فقط شرطًا بهذا المكان، مستحيل. يعني أني مثلًا
always
كلمة
update.
get، آآ أني
Yes.
كلمة أني مثلًا كلمة get، كلمة get أني بس أعرفها، بس ما أعرف هواي مصطلحات. من أقول لك تعال هنا وأني ما أعرف كلمة come، فأقول لك get here. مو
اهم.
فهمتني؟
صح.
آمم، أني ما أعرف كلمة wake up اللي معناها يستيقظ، فأقول لك get up.
اهم.
أني ما أعرف كلمة leave اللي معناها غادر، فأقول لك get away.
إمم.
أني ما أعرف كلمة escape اللي معناها يهرب، فأقول لك he got away، انهزم، he got
اهم.
away. أني ما أعرف أقول لك اتفضل للبيت، واللي معناها
get
you're
here.
welcome، أو فأقول لك get in.
Yes.
أني ما أعرف كلمة يتأقلم على الموضوع، أني ما أعرف كلمة يتأقلم على الموضوع أو يتأقلم على الوضع، فأقول لك I got on the situation، أني اتعودت على الموقف.
اهم.
فهذه فهذه هي أداة. هل هي الأداة الرئيسية؟ لأ. وصّلت المعنى؟ نعم. إذًا نستخدمها. فاللغة مثل الأداة اللي بالمطبخ، ممكن نستخدمها لأكثر من غرض. فإذا فهمنا هاي الفكرة، فهمنا أنه ماكو مصطلح ثابت لمعنى ثابت، كلها متغيرة. مجرد عملية تطويعك إلها بالطريقة وبالاحترافية اللي بدماغك راح تمكنك من الوصول المعنى اللي تريد توصله للناس. بقي هذه الشغلات اللي احنا نسميها تويكس، اللي هي شغلات جرامر، اللي هي ممكن نركز عليها 10%، وهذا خلاص. هذا كل ما في درسنا لهذا اليوم. Thank you so much, Mr. Matham, for this beautiful practice. Next meeting, what we're going to do, I want you to listen or practice reading هذه الليستة إذا تحب تسمعهم أونلاين على قاموس أو تسوي لهم practice. لأن الدرس القادم أريدك تبديلي باللفظ مال القائمة الأخيرة، ابتداء من الكلمة اللي صارت عندنا بها إشكال رئيسي اللي هي improve.
Yes.
improve 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 improve. متفقين؟
I agreed.
ربي يحفظك ويحفظ العائلة الكريمة. Do you have any comments?
الله يبارك فيك. Thank you Mr. وليد.
You're more than welcome. أتمنى تستمع للتسجيل بعد نهاية الدرس أو باكر أثناء الطريق حتى تأخذ فكرة. أنا راح أرفع على اليوتيوب حتى يكون محفوظ هناك للاستماع، لأن هنا مرات السكايب شوي يعطل، يلا يفتح الأوديو.